and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only P-Dog Knight.
Well, so far this is not working out as planned, but I'm getting there. Hi everybody, welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host Marty, also known as P-Dog Knight on the internet. Welcome back to the P-Dog Knight channel on this Monday, the 16th of September. Excuse me for a moment. 2024. Where they just, what's going on? This is the second time that there's been an alleged attempt on the life of the guy with the funny hair, and it's not a good thing. And I just don't get it. But we'll parse through some of it because there's some people who insist, and I mean insist, that this whole thing was staged. Both of these, there's one account in particular on X, the app formerly known as Twitter, that is just 100% sure that Donald Trump is staging these himself. That these are fake attempts. That the one in Butler County, Pennsylvania, was fake, and that these are elaborate fakes to get sympathy for Donald Trump. And I'm just, I don't get it. Why, on what planet do you think the Secret Service and the FBI would all be in on this for Donald Trump? Especially the FBI, who's doing the investigations, who just, they loathe Donald Trump over at the FBI. And especially under the current person in the White House, the, dementia-addled one, Joseph Rahim Biden. Why would the FBI and the Secret Service all be in on this? They would have to be if this were fake. I can believe that maybe they were incompetent, but the idea that this was staged? Y'all are a bunch of idiots. But there's all over the internet. They're going Alex Jones on whatever that town was in the East Coast where the kids got stuffed. I don't get it. Anyway, let's get into the show. First, we'll say hi, and it's all mostly a headline show. I'm not doing much of the trending stuff today, a couple things, but I got so many articles open, I figure we'll just do all headline show for the most part, and we'll kind of get through them quickly because I got a bunch, and I the articles are there. I'll put them in the links at the end of the show, put them in the chat, and you can read the full articles yourself if you want to, or you can just take my word for it. I don't know why you do that, but you might want to do that. I don't know. Anyway, first in chat today, of course, beat me to the punch. Mr. Avocado Albi gets the bell. Wait a minute. I said Mr. Avocado Albi gets the bell. Oh, now that's much better. Here, you can get another bell for that. That's much better. Thank you. Also, good morning to Kara Soldier. Good morning, Mike Savage Blarg. Green Badger Outdoors. Justine Ellishun, what's up? Good morning also. Mr. X51. Did you used to have a different name, Mr. X? I don't know. Also, Episkipos Helsung is here. Good afternoon to you, wherever time zone you're in. Patty O Furniture's in the house. Did I already say that? No, I didn't. Okay, good. Don Julio, Commander of Trash, a whole new handle. Not a whole new handle, but anyway. Shia Grath's in the house. Good morning, bigot. I don't know why I did that and suffering fucking have, what's the Sylvester the Cat talk? I don't know why I did that, but it really sounded really good. And I just thought I'd try it. Good morning to my favorite Canadian Jaeger pony. Plague Trucker Zach's in the house. And wait, since their lexicon conspiracy theorist is for stupid evil, they OFC cannot, per the definition, be that. Yeah, I don't know. They're trying. Anyway, today's cup of coffee is brought to you by Your Life Matters. That'd be the Your Life Matters cut. That's on my website. You can get a Your Lives Matter T-shirt or coffee cups. I don't know if I have any hats. I don't think I have any hats, but T-shirts and whatnot on the, I don't even know where it is. It's on pdog9.live. Does anyone know? It's on my it's you can get it through the YouTube channel. There's a link somewhere down there. Anyway, and if you want to sponsor the show, of course, the official sponsors link is being pinned to the top of the chat. Thank you, Mr. Johnny Boomertech. Way to go. Did I miss anybody? I got everybody, right? There's not a whole lot of people here yet. Well, I mean, there's never a whole lot of people here. I'd be happy just one day to break 100 again. I've done it a few times when I've had guests, but those people come for the guests, and then I'm just lightweight after that. But I don't care. I enjoy doing this. You're my audience. You are the loyal fans of the show. I don't know if you'd say fans. You are watchers, and I appreciate all of you. There are 19 people here. 10 likes, 11 likes. Hit the like button. Do all that stuff. And someday, I'll do something viral that'll actually get people to come to see me. But anyway, this is good. I enjoy doing this. I've been doing this over 5 years. And I just enjoy doing it. So there you go. All right, let's get into the show. A couple things. There are a couple trending things, but first let me. I got to thank a couple people first. What is this? Oh, I already did that. I didn't do the. Hang on a second. I got to copy and paste this over to the other side. Copy and paste. There we go. That's good. All right. There's my tech thing for the moment. Couple thank yous. I'm sure one of them would be Somnambuled Nation, of course, tweeted out the show. Appreciate it. Man Squatch retweeted my tweet of the show, or somebody's. Oh no, you retweeted Somnambuled Nation's tweet of the show. And Tyler F and Mr. X51, thank you for sharing the stream. Please share the stream. I'd appreciate it. In fact, here, I'll give you a link if you want to do that. You can do that right now. Bam! It's in the chat. Probably got there before I even said it. In the immortal words of, wait, who says it? Let's go. If you want to, let me know. Oh, that's, Roy Jones Jr. Have you heard that song? Let's Go. He does it to the Lick and Crazy Train. You ever heard that one? That's a pretty good one. All right. Sad news today, and maybe it is sad to you. I don't know. It's sad to me just because this family was a big part of my childhood, at least watching them on TV, and one of them have passed. Mr. Tito Jackson has died. At 70 years old, someone here says, we are shocked, saddened, and heartbroken. Our father, Tito Jackson, was an incredible man who cared about everyone and their well-being. Please remember to do what our father always preached. Love one another. We love you, Pops, and we will forever miss you. So his sons have a little three voice boy band, basically. It's interesting because Tito, to me, Tito's part of the Jackson 5, obviously. And he always carried around that guitar, and I was always confused of whether or not he actually played it. Rest in peace, Tito Jackson, with the courage to defy Dad and pick up his guitar. We might not have witnessed the birth of the Jackson 5 or seen Michael Jackson become the greatest entertainer. Tito's talent as a guitarist was the foundation to all. So here's some, here's some footage of Tito playing, and it was always kind of a joke. That was a running gag that, Tito never really played that guitar. Because a lot of times when they're performing, they're doing lip sync thing and he's not necessarily plugged in. But he actually could play, okay. He's not, I would never call him a great guitarist. But he was kind of the background a lot of the Jackson music. So here's some
of the family and the group.
So there you go. I'm going to just stop there. You can watch if you want. But anyway, a lot of people paying tribute to Tito Jackson, 1953 to 2024. He was 70 years old. I didn't realize he was only 10 years older than me. But that makes sense because, okay, so when I was a kid, he was 17. They were kids when they got started out, so that makes sense. Also in the news, By the way, good morning, Zed the Snarky. Good morning, Tyler F. And good morning, Special K on Acid. And Lauren Stanhope, too. Lots of y'all are here. Janet will always be the most important, Jackson. Now, come on. You never heard of Michael? Come on, man. Come
on, man.
There you go. Also, trending today, Lauren Bacall. Apparently, this is the date of her birth. She would have been 100 years old today. Great actress. Mostly known, especially, wasn't she, no, I was thinking, that was Katharine Hepburn in the African Queen. Wasn't she in Casablanca? Wasn't she the love interest in Casablanca? Anyway, I don't know why these are all saying retry. Let's try this again. Let's refresh this. But she was a well-known, famous actress who I really don't know a whole lot about. But she was a little hottie when she was young, I'll tell you. And of course, that's unusual in Hollywood. Not a whole lot of hotties in Hollywood. So anyway, happy birthday, Lauren Bacall. Also trending I've only got a few trending things. This is, J.D. Vance was on This is CNN over the weekend again, and he was on had a little, I'll say a dust up with Dana Bash, the original interviewer of Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. And you remember what that interview was like, where she was giving them every chance to give the best answers they could, sometimes help them with multiple choice questions. And so J.D. Vance goes on here, and it went about as you would expect. So we're actually going to play this because, and I know it's 5 minutes long, but I'm just going to play this because this is fascinating. I always tell you, the difference between them interviewing Democrats or people they like versus people that they do not want to give any credit to, and how this is almost like the debate if you listen to this interview. But here we go.
And to protect them, Kamala Harris opened the border, and now these people are suffering. That's what I'm focused on, Dana.
Senator, I have to go through several things that you just said. First of all, the Clark County Sheriff and the Ohio Department of Natural Resources reviewed 11 months of 911.
Wait, are you interviewing and fact-checking? Does this mean that you're arguing with him?
Calls. They only identified 2 instances of people alleging Haitians were taking geese out of parks. They found 0 evidence to substantiate those claims. Also,
really?
other evidence that you
You mean they ate the geese? Or the pictures of people carrying geese that some people had. That's amazing.
Talked about, even you've retweeted alleged evidence, are unsourced social media videos from a different city, apparently no connection to Haitians. And this is from a conservative activist who offered a $5,000 reward for such things. And then going just backly to the schools and the hospitals and so forth being overwhelmed. Nobody is disputing that the town of Springfield, Ohio needs help. But you're not just a bystander. You're the senator from Ohio. So instead of
is
saying
this a
things
question
that
or is this
wrong and actually causing the hospitals, the schools, the government
so she's lecturing him
to be evacuated?
She's lecturing him in an interview
because of the cats and dogs.
I thought this was an interview
thing. Why not actually
just wait?
Be constructive in helping better integrate them into the community, because there are a lot of employers there who say that—
Wait a minute, hold on. I do have to stop the show for this. Good morning, Tyre Alexander. The Scourge! Yeah, I stopped the show for that. What the hell? What's wrong with me? And Andrew Thorsten's here. What's up? Okay, sorry. That was funny to me.
The Haitian workers are helping fill jobs that they need desperately filled.
Oh, they need to fill jobs.
Dana, first of all, let me just respond.
I love how he responds to her, by the way. Hi, Spidey Man.
Spidey Man! Which I think is frankly disgusting and is more appropriate for a Democratic propagandist than it is for an American.
Oh, look at her getting chippy without saying anything. Look at her face. Wait, I'm going to go back because listen to her. Look at her face while he's talking to her because he's tired. I think he got tired of being lectured. I do.
Dana, first of all,
Watch
let me
your
just
face.
respond to a couple of things that you said, but I want to start with something you said, which I think is frankly disgusting and is more appropriate for a Democratic
me?
propagandist than it is for an American journalist. There is nothing that I have said that has led to threats against these hospitals. These hospitals, the bomb threats
Oh my God.
and so forth.
Look at her
it's
face. She's
disgusting.
not.
The violence is disgusting. We condemn it. We condemn all violence.
Senator,
and
this
threats of
happened.
violence.
Why are you interrupting him?
On the debate stage, said that cats and dogs were being eaten.
You asked a question, Dana, and I'm going to go ahead and answer it. What we have said is that this town has suffered terribly under the policies of Kamala Harris. Now, you just accused me of inciting violence against the community.
She sure did.
When all that I've done is surface the complaints of my constituents, people who are suffering because of Kamala Harris's policies. Are we not allowed to talk about these problems because some psychopaths are threatening violence? We can condemn the violence on the one hand, but also talk about the terrible consequences of Kamala Harris's open border on the other hand. Now, let me just fact check a couple of other things that you said, Dana, because it's important. You said that all of these migrants are in the country legally. They are in the country through what's called temporary protective status.
Right.
That is when Kamala Harris waved a magic amnesty wand, taking people and giving them legal status. That is not to say that they're here legally. That
And
is
it's
a
not
terrible indictment
our
of
immigration
her amnesty
policy.
policies that have further opened the
Hi,
door
Ellen.
and further
But it's
caused
not illegal.
terrible migration into this country.
You might not agree with the policy, and obviously you don't, which is totally fair and legitimate. There are policy disagreements all the time. But the fact is that it is the law because President
Dana, the
Biden
point
and
is,
Vice
Dana,
President Harris are. But I don't want to frankly go down
A
this
road where you
conversation
might
about-
get
about
questioned.
policy
Dana,
because-
A road
because-
where, wait.
You made a point.
I don't want to go down a road where I'm the one who's the focus of this bullshit interview. That's what she meant to say. 'Cause she doesn't want him calling her out for being a partisan.
The point
and
is,
Vice
Dana,
President Harris are. But I don't want to frankly go down this conversation
hold on.
about
What
policy
happened?
because no.
You made a point.
Hang on.
You don't. I agree. You don't want to talk about policy.
No,
Dana,
what
which
I
is
wanna
why
talk
you're
about-
talking about
what
other
I wanna talk
distractions
about-
instead of about the fact
Senator,
that Kamala
it was
Harris,
your
Dana,
distraction.
granted amnesty
You were the
at a
one who
mass
started
level. She
talking about
granted
eating
amnesty
dogs
at a
and
mass
cats.
level.
You were the one who
Dana,
brought this
my
up. The
constituents
president
were the
said
ones
it to
who talked about
60
eating
million
dog and
people.
cats, and I talked about it because you were ignoring this community. My constituents talked about
Have
it.
you
and
been
it is
to
my
Springfield?
responsibility to surface their concerns when the American media
Have you been to
ignores it.
Springfield?
Dana, I've been to Springfield probably 100 times in my life.
How about
I've taken my
recently,
children
since
to
you've
get
heard
ice
this?
cream at Young's
Listen to her.
Jersey Dairy.
She's
Have you heard
arguing with
recently since
him.
you've
Have I
gotten
been?
He
calls?
said
Have I been?
He said his constituents were the ones who told him that. He didn't make it up out of thin air. He's just telling their stories. And she's sitting there arguing with him. Have you been to Springfield? Has Kamala Harris been to the border? Have you ever asked her that? Did you ask her how often she's been to the border? You didn't ask her anything. You didn't challenge Tim Walz or Kamala Harris in an entire 20-minute edited interview. But you sit here bickering with him instead of letting him answer the fucking question. I'm sorry, I'm swearing now. Give me a second. I can't believe it. Hang on a moment. This stupid thing. I'm going to fix something real quick. In the meantime, let me see if I can find it. Thank you, Avocado Stiambly, for your sponsoring of the show. In fact, here's a proper alert. That's much better. Now, Avocado Stiambly says, ain't no town of 60,000 people that has need of 20,000 workers, right? And he is a U.S. senator. Not much he can do to affect local governments going on. Exactly. What is she expecting Senator Vance to do about this sudden influx? Well, over the last 2 years, it's 20,000 people in 2 years. They're not 20,000 jobs that they've created in 2 years. That's not even feasible. And in fact, it's a metro area. The surrounding area is about 130,000 total, but the town of Springfield, 60,000. And they've brought in 20,000. Another 5,000 arrived this last few weeks. And part of it is the housing crisis for the people who live there, especially the people who rent, who are getting evicted because the landlords are saying, oh, well, hey, we can, for example, they can charge by the room for the Haitians, and the government is paying for it, and the government has really deep pockets, so the price of rents are just skyrocketing in Springfield. It's causing a homeless problem in a town of 60,000. It's crazy. Anyway, let me finish this interview.
In the last 4 days?
No, I'm
I
talking
haven't
about
been the last 4 days, but I've
since
talked
you've
to a lot
gotten
of
these
people
calls
in
from the
Springfield, Dana,
constituents.
and they're telling me this.
So she acknowledges that they got calls from the constituents. Does it matter if he's been there? At least you're acknowledging that that he's gotten calls from constituents.
Stuff is happening. Dana, would you like to ask me questions and then let me
This is the best part of the interview. This is by far the best part of the video. So I'm going to back up so you hear this, because this is chef's kiss.
Have I been in the last 4 days?
No, I'm
I
talking
haven't been
about
in the last 4 days, but I've
since
talked to
you've
a lot
gotten
of
these
people
calls
in
from the
Springfield, Dana,
constituents.
and they're telling me this stuff is happening. Dana, would you like to ask me questions and then let me answer them, or would you like to debate me on these topics? I noticed that when you had Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, you gave them multiple choice answers to the questions that you asked, and you allowed them to answer the questions. I'm happy to be here to talk about policy, but if you're going to interrupt me every single time that I open my mouth, then why am I even doing this? So please ask a question, and I'd ask you to be polite enough to let me answer it.
Yes, I am, and
Yes, I'm. In fact, do you notice she even cut him off there? Listen to the end of it. Listen to the end of his little thing here, which I shouldn't say that. Hello, James Gideon. Welcome. Appreciate you subscribing.
Why am I even doing this? So please ask a question, and I'd ask you to be polite enough to let me
She
answer
even
it.
cut him off there. She could not hold off for him to finish the fucking sentence, because she wants to argue with him. And that's her job now. Her job is to argue with Republicans.
And I think that if Kamala Harris and Tim Walz were making unsubstantiated claims that had racist...
My God. And did you see what she said here? Listen to this again. So now she's calling him a racist, saying he has racist undertones.
If Kamala Harris and Tim Walz were making unsubstantiated claims that had racist undertones about people eating dogs and cats, I would, and they didn't answer the questions about that, then I would have...
He did answer the questions. And in fact, they didn't answer your questions in that interview. You asked a question and she went off into a campaign speech about something completely different. She didn't answer your question, and you couldn't focus her into what you were asking. And she lied multiple times. Even in that interview, there were lies that you put on the air with no fact checks until like 3 days later. Holy Moses. Hello, Moneyball. What's up? Springfield has a population of 80,000, which declined to only 58,000 in 2020. Okay. And why was that? And your point? The surrounding area is 130,000. But I mentioned that too. Okay, Springfield proper, yeah, declined. But thank you, I appreciate it, and welcome to the show, by the way. I'm glad you're here. Welcome, and I appreciate your contribution. But the idea that she just wants to argue with them, it's kind of funny how that happens on CNN. It's amazing. So, all right, moving on. The term Epstein is trending, and I don't know. I didn't really follow through on this. I know that apparently Meta's already scrubbed the Facebook page of the would-be Trump assassin. That's what this Alex guy is calling it. I don't even know if it was an assassination attempt or not. But they've several of these social media places have scrubbed his website, or, his social media. Now, it's interesting, though. There are people who have screen recorded a bunch of social media, and there's something weird I noticed, particularly about his X account. And someone else brought this up, too. So here's, this is Billboard Chris. He's the guy who walks around the billboard about don't trans my kids, whatever. And this is, I'm going to play this. No, do you notice anything weird about this particular X account? And I'm not even talking about the content. Just look at it, though. Just look at it as he scrolls through. Is it strange to you that almost every post on his X account looks physically the same? I mean, look at all these posts. They're almost all the same. They're all at somebody. Then they have text up to almost like, I guess, to a limit. And then they put a link at the end, and they're all like uniform size. That tells me that, it almost looks like they're generated. Like they've been generating these for a long time. But anyway, this is a guy, we'll get into him a little more, but, I still don't know what the Epstein part is. I know the new breaking the ABC whistleblower swears under penalty of perjury that Kamala Harris campaign dictated the terms of the questions during the presidential debate. Furthermore, the Harris campaign insisted upon live fact-checking with Donald Trump during the debate. The ABC News fact-checked Trump at least 5 times and did not fact-check Harris once, despite the Democratic candidate telling provable lies such as the Fine People hoax and the bloodbath hoax. The whistleblower signed an affidavit in New York and has sent a copy to Speaker Mike Johnson. The notarized document states the unnamed individual states that he or she is in possession of secret recordings that will prove ABC News rigged the presidential debate. ABC News committed election interference. This is a massive scandal. And that's opinion, obviously. But then they show pieces of the affidavit here, showing several. These are in the links. It'll be in the link on this Epstein post here. But I still don't know why the term Epstein, except for, I know the I guess. Someone says that the guy who tried to shoot at him is going to get Epstein too. I don't know. Whatever. But the FBI is already finalizing his autopsy papers. They're going to kill him. We will never hear him speak. Some kind of tragic accident will befall him in custody. He's going to be Epstein. So this is reportedly the man who is in custody attempting to assassinate Trump earlier today. He is really, apparently he's a Ukraine hawk, so to speak. Very wanted to do some stuff in Ukraine.
Conflicts are gray, but this conflict is definitely black.
Oh, this is 10 minutes long. I'm not playing this. Anyway, some people are convinced that he will be Epstein. And you know what Epstein means, right? You know what Epstein means. And then finally, just the other thing trending that made me laugh a little bit is the hashtag staged assassination attempt. Now that's fast. Hello, Dewey C. Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. There's another. Did I give AD a Streamlabs?
You are
the new Streamlabs superstar sponsor of the day. Did I give that to you, AD? I don't even remember I did it. Anyway, thank you, Dewey C. Co Streamlabs superstar sponsor of the day, who says, what about the Haitians? Well, I see you grew up in a middle-class family and everybody liked their lawns. Yeah, that's kind of how she answers questions. So anyway, back to, thank you very much, DUC. I appreciate you sponsoring the show. James Gideon, are you still here, by the way? I'm curious. Also, good morning, Tex AG007 and Select a Boy.
Yeah, boy.
And Anna Lynn, if you didn't hear me say your name, I just said it again. And Moneyball, I'm glad you all are here. All right, Moneyball, are you still here? I'd love to have a chat with you. Go ahead, say something. So, apparently, there's people who think that this is a staged assassination attempt. Now, what do the two Trump would-be assassins have in common? Both donated to the Democratic fundraising group Act Blue. That's interesting. Breaking statement from the former president after the second apparent assassination attempt. He said, "Nothing will slow me down. I will never surrender. I will always love you for supporting me." Someone here says when the media tells you something isn't happening, it's happening, and it's a lot worse than you can imagine. Staged assassination attempt. So, but there's a lot of people claiming that this is this is staged. The FBI confirmed this was a second assassination attempt on President Trump's life. Trump has said that nothing will slow me down, blah, 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 no surrender. But there are people are insisting.
I don't do paper, though. I don't care if you do.
Hang on. Okay, that's just Trump. But, you know, I get it. Anytime there's something that... What the hell? Hang on. I'm going to scroll without you seeing this. Oh, okay. She has clothes on. I was like, what the hell? Why is this here? I want to find someone who actually thinks it's staged again, though. Who thinks it's staged. Okay, here's one. Trump again with another staged hashtag shooting so he can be a camera hog to profess I'm safe and well. An inside job? I don't know. Maybe it was JD or perhaps Melania. It's hard to say who the shooter is, but it's easy to witness Donald is far from well. Vote for out every Republican. Harris Walls. Okay. So there's one. I've been trying to find the ones that say it's fake. Okay, thanks, Moneyball. I'm glad you're here. I really am. I want people who don't agree with me and shit sometimes, too, because it's always more interesting that way. So anyway, for some reason, people are putting up bikini pics and stuff under staged assassination attempt. That's fucking fantastic. So there you go. All right, let's move on to headlines, because and most of my headlines today are from right-wing media, so be prepared. But obviously a lot of talk about the... I'm going to put it in quotes, assassination attempt, because unless I haven't seen any of the FBI stuff. I mean, but as far as I know, everything that I've read as far as statements from the FBI says it was possibly an assassination attempt. I don't know. Donald Trump is safe after gunshot hit in his vicinity. The Trump campaign said Sunday, President Trump is safe following gunshots in the vicinity. Okay, I hate when they do that. This time they doubled up not only the headline, but the first line and the second line, and then they put a tweet about the same freaking line. This drives me nuts. Media, and all media does it. The AP does it, CBS does it, NBC does it, MSNBC does it, Fox does it, Breitbart does it. All these, if your headline doesn't have to be the exact same thing that the first line says. Are any of you creative whatsoever? Anybody? Anybody? Are you creative at all? I hate when they do that. Anyway, President Trump is safe following gunshots in his vicinity. Trump campaign communications director Stephen Chung said in a statement. No further details at this time. According to one report, gunshots were fired while Trump was at Trump National Golf Club in West Palm Beach, Florida, where he is golfing today. And then Colin Rugg put a tweet about it, and they got tweets all over about it. But anyway, we all know that it didn't necessarily affect him directly, as far as we know. Now, New York Post has an article about the alleged would-be assassin. Thank you, Avocados Diablo. Another small bullet in the tip jar. Thank you. And you're still the Streamlab Superstar sponsor today. AD says, all assassinations are staged. It is just a matter of whether it was staged by the assassin or the target. Sure, I am being pedantic. But am I wrong? No, you are 100% right. Thank you very much for that input. Okay. The alleged gunman who authorities said targeted former President Donald Trump while he golfed in Florida on Sunday afternoon previously declared on social media that, quote, democracy is on the ballot. No, it's not. Jesus Christ. When I see a constitutional amendment proposed that would end democracy, then I will believe that democracy on the ballot. When I see a candidate who proposes that we end our democratic republic, representative republic, then I will be concerned. And when I think there's close to 3/4 of the states who would vote for such an amendment, then I will be concerned. Until then, shut the fuck up about democracy on the ballot. It's not. The president doesn't have that power, and it's by design that the president does not have that power. I guarantee you will not get in the constitutional amendment that Donald Trump supports for the 50 states, because you know what? half the states will just vote against it no matter what it is. If it's a constitutional amendment to enshrine that your pets are the greatest thing on the planet, half the country would say, fuck you, pets suck. So because it's Donald Trump who said it. So let's just stop that bullshit. But anyway, I digress. Let's see, this year, and we cannot lose, echoing the anti-Trump rhetoric used by Vice President Kamala Harris and President Biden. Now, again, this is one of those ones, though. It's always funny to me because this happened yesterday. And the same thing when the little shitbag in Pennsylvania got a nick out of Trump's ear. It's so funny how quickly they know everything about him. They know that he might have been a registered Republican. He was a conservative one time, this and that and this and that and the third. How much they know, they release all this information. And it took them how many months to release the manifesto from that one school shooter that, the chick who thought she was a dude and all that. I know that's kind of rude to say it that way, but, I'm an old man. I don't give a fuck. So anyway... It's funny how quickly whenever it's remotely right-wing or remotely Republican, we know everything about them within 24 hours. But notice how most of them, we don't know anything about them, especially when they're on the left. And that's most of the time, like vast majority. The vast majority of these shooter types are on the left. But it's funny how the most high-profile ones end up somehow being on the right wing. It's amazing. It's kind of almost as though there's a bias for that. We still don't know about that Las Vegas dude, though. We don't know anything. That's one of the weird ones. I don't know. That's anyway. So, law enforcement sources identify the suspect as Ryan Wesley Rolfe. I don't know how to say the name. 58. Rolfe was, who has a lengthy criminal record from North Carolina, frequently posted about politics and exclusively donated to Democratic candidates and causes back to 2019. So I'm confused. I've been hearing he was a Republican, and another Republican, white male, right? You're fucking a white male. But anyway, he also bashed Trump on an April 22 post on X, the app formerly known as Twitter, which declared, quote, "Democracy is on the ballot. And we cannot lose." He advised Biden, 81, in April 2022 X post when he was still running for re-election to run a campaign around keeping America democratic and free. So I think the rhetoric on democracy on the ballot must be landing somewhere. You got it? Anyway, and again, how many times are they going to write about it? Again, it's Breitbart, so they're going to emphasize the stuff that's negative for, the Democrats. Here's some other background. This is similar language that Harris continues to use on the campaign trail. On August 29th, she said at a rally in Savannah, Georgia, "We are fighting for our democracy." Well, yeah, that's the kind of the Democrat thing now. Oh, he's going to destroy democracy. Again, when I see any hints of a constitutional amendment, y'all give me a call. I'm going to laugh at it because 3/4 of the states got to ratify it. But anyway. And now, so they're showing all these times that she talked about democracy on the ballot. Here's what we know about the assassin attempt on Trump in Florida. The former President Donald Trump survived an assassination attempt at Trump International Golf Club in West Palm Beach, Florida on September 15, 2024. Trump sent out a statement to supporters. We already know about that. The suspect identified as Ralph. We already know about that. Ralph had a history of supporting progressive causes online and made 19 donations to Democratic candidates since 2019. The Secret Service agent spotted and opened fire on Ralph as he put his gun through a fence. The suspect fled and was arrested on I-95 a short time later, so they caught him alive. According to Palm Beach County Sheriff Rick Bradshaw, Trump's security detail was lighter because he isn't a sitting president, despite the previous attempt on his life in July. So they got even a map here. I'm glad thank God they put a map on the New York Post article showing you where the guy could have got a shot off from. Yeah, that's brilliant. Anyway, spokespeople for Biden and Harris did not immediately respond for requests for comment. Following the Trump attempt in July, when the GOP nominee was wounded in the ear, he tweeted at Biden that he should visit the victims of the Pennsylvania rally where Thomas Matthew Crooks opened fire, and so on and so forth. So this goes on and on. You get it. Hello, Anon. 1, 2, 3. Good morning, sir. PJ Media, remember, now we got PJ Media saying, hey, remember when Kamala Harris joked about ending Trump? Yeah. That was on the Ellen DeGeneres show. And also the fact that she does, she chipped in for the Minnesota Freedom Fund. So that's in the Breitbart article, or not, that's PJ Media article. Horatio Nelson's in the house. What's up, my friend? And thank you for sponsoring the show, dropping a deuce in the tip jar, saying, just a heads up, shooter was an assassin, had a scoped SKS plus armor and camera fired at Secret Service agent who fired 6 shots back. He released a manifesto in 2023. Amazon just wiped it, but I have it. Oh, snap. Put a link to Horatio. He worked as a mercenary recruiter for a shell company in D.C. Well, okay, thank you very much. That's some great information. You know what else is interesting, as I've been reading a lot of stuff about this morning? He also, remember how the last guy just happened to be in one of those Blackwater commercial, or is it Blackwater? What's it called? BlackRock. He was in a BlackRock commercial, the kid from Pennsylvania. Amazing coinkydink so was this guy. He was, I don't know if I had the article. I don't remember what I did with it. This guy was also featured in a BlackRock commercial. I mean, I don't know, featured. He appeared in a BlackRock commercial. Let me see if I have that. Well, okay, I want to talk, here, let me put up Ian Carroll, because Ian Carroll is very good at researching this kind of stuff. Let me put this guy up, because he's got a little video here that's interesting. And the reason Ian Carroll probably is interested in this, because he's really into making videos about BlackRock. I think I may have shown this to you before. Here, let's do full screen on this. But here's an interesting video by Ian Carroll.
Assassin just dropped, and there's some spicy details already. Ryan Routh, very strange guy.
There he is.
Very strange life. And this time, the internet was wise and archived all of his socials as much as possible before the FBI took it all down.
Thank goodness.
So here's some basics on what we know about him, and one really interesting rabbit hole.
Oh, by the way, I don't know anything about... Wait, what's this guy's name again? Ian? I've seen a bunch of his videos. I have no... You really wouldn't know about his politics. I don't think he's a Trump guy necessarily. I mean, he's just a researcher. And so I'm not 100% sure, though. But anyway.
About who he might be. Right off the bat, though, it's super early. This is all speculative. Take your time, pump the brakes. We're just digging through dirty laundry. We don't know what sticks yet. But this guy is a private American citizen who traveled to Ukraine on his own dime?
What? What? Why?
Mark, to help recruit civilian soldiers to fight for Ukraine.
To help recruit civilian soldiers. In fact, Horatio, thank you, dropping a deuce in the tip jar, saying he worked for a shell company called Civilian Shield, which is run by a mysterious New York-based lawyer with a random house address in D.C. He worked human trafficking ops to move people across Iran, China, and Afghanistan to funnel them to Ukraine. What? Horatio, you're killing me, brother. Oh my God. See, now this is more details than what Ian's talking about.
And Special Forces, he was like recruiting on his Facebook page.
Yeah.
Here's an archive of all of his tweets that look pretty damn automated to me.
Yeah, again, look at now you can see this much better. See on how, like, all these look, do they just look like they're all automated or chat GBT or some shit? I mean, they're all like, I mean, structurally, they're all identical. I mean, if any of you spend any time on X, do all of your tweets or whatever the fuck you call them anymore, do they all look the same like this? I mean, I have stuff. I mean, sometimes I got one-liners. Sometimes I'm joking to somebody. Sometimes I type out something long because I'm trying to explain something. But they don't all look the same. And they're all starting with like an @ in front of them and a little link later. They're all, it's weird.
They pretty much all look like this. In a past life in Hawaii, he apparently ran this company that made a single tiny home and a single Facebook page and never did anything else with it. Super weird. But I grabbed everyone that he followed on Twitter before they deleted it.
Yeah, this is the kicker.
60. And right down at the bottom
Who's
of that
the
list,
first
which
one?
I think indicates his first follow, is this girl named Sue Kim, who is ex-CIA, along with some other very interesting things. Now, again, reminder, this is just speculation.
Now, I do want to point something out that this is not an original thought. This is something that somebody else said too. And in a way, I agree. If let's say the CIA or the FBI or one of these letter agencies were really trying to end the guy with the funny hair, you might think they would have someone way more confident, or excuse me, not confident, competent than the two so far, right? Like the kid, I mean, how did they get this kid? But again, the kid was in a BlackRock commercial, so I'm curious. But unless it's so they can have plausible deniability, which with the kid, especially in Pennsylvania, they can manipulate that into major plausible deniability, even though the kid was known to have been in places where, let's just say, he might have met some people who, you know what I'm saying. So anyway, it's interesting. Yeah, there's no such thing as ex-CIA. That's funny. Hello, Bookworm Attic and Green Badger Outdoors. So as a merc, did Ralph get paid to hit on President Trump? I don't know. I'm trying not to go there yet. Thank you, Horatio Nelson. Not auto tweets, dude. Was just a manic depressive with signs of borderline schizo. Some stuff from his book. Oh, link after link after link. I'll drop these all in the links today. Thank you, Horatio Nelson. You are awesome. Hello, Garolf. Giefer-Wolf. Give me a wrench. I'll post the rest of the book links and cheers. Oh, I see what you're saying. I got the ones that Horatio dropped in the super chat, so we'll start with that. Thank you very much, Garol, and welcome. That's another new name. I appreciate seeing new names up here. All right, let's listen here. Oh, here, by the way, if you want to drop those links here, where is it? I'll temporarily add you as a moderator. There you go. Standard moderator. There you go. All right. So if you want to drop those links, that'd be fantastic. Oh, it is. Oh, you are. It is Horatio Nelson. That is you. Okay, good. Thank you, Avocados Diablo. Another 223 in the tip jar, saying, I'm feeling a little judged right now as someone who fills something to the maximum allowable character count. I don't really see an issue with someone else who does it. People who live in balsa wood houses should not throw Molotov cocktails and all that. Hey, first of all, I have standard 2x4 framing and construction with concrete base basement. So there, that's I don't live in balsa wood, baby. And secondly, I'm not judging you or anyone else who is a little bit OCD with how they tweet and fills up their character space limit, but do all of them look exactly the same? Do you do an at the beginning of every single one? Do you do all that other stuff? So there. So just you are still the Streamlabs Superstar sponsor today, aren't you? No, Horatio Nelson. Just wait. How'd that happen? It should be 80. There's something wrong with my counter here. Oh, there we go. It does says 80. All right. Back to this Ian here.
Digging through Twitter dirt.
Oh, I see. You were talking about yourself. You're not judging yourself, because I'm not judging you, brother. I'm definitely not judging you. Oh, I see. You're not judging the alleged shooter. Okay, so you did change your name to Gefferolf. That's very difficult to say. Gefferolf. I don't know what the hell that is. All right, here we go.
Maybe this chick is just a wonderful, patriotic person
Maybe.
helping America.
Or
who knows?
Ex-CIA.
But her account is private, meaning why does he follow her? I've been digging around, and one of my followers said that they found her in the people that follow him back. I have not been able to confirm that for myself because they took the account down. If you've got a video of the 1.2 thousand followers that followed him, that would be great to know. He says that she was at the bottom of his followed list, meaning that she followed him right when he made the account.
Oh, and that's interesting too. So she followed him immediately after he made the account. So they followed each other as soon as he made an account. Fascinating. Hello, Nomad. Hammer time.
That would make sense, seeing as she's at the bottom of his following list of who he follows too. I mean, every asset needs a handler.
Ding.
And when you go through some of these other affiliations here, you get what is essentially the CIA training grounds at Johns Hopkins
Oh my.
University. It explores the relationship between politics and the many kinds of military power, from
I
the
might
use
have
of
to get through any of the
terror by small
headlines today.
non-state groups to the threatened use of nuclear weapons. Its director is John McLaughlin, who is literally an
shitbag.
ex-acting director of the CIA and ex-deputy director of the CIA. 3-decade career at the CIA. David is third on the list.
Ex-director. Yeah.
List of
Just like John Brennan and who's that other fucker?
people at the top of this institution at the university. 30-year career in Army Special Forces, various special operations, invading various
Spooks.
countries, as well as Operation Enduring Freedom. You get the idea. Anyway,
Spooks.
Rand Corporation. That's a military-industrial complex think tank, kind of like the Atlantic Council. And LMI org, yeah, that's like a military-industrial complex education and training program as well.
No, not related to the McLaughlin group. Wrong. It's not.
Preliminary findings on the internet when you search our homeboy, the shooter, show his arrest record, including in 2002 possession of weapons of mass destruction.
So a felony. He's a felon with a weapon. So he had an illegal weapon. He's illegally possessing a weapon. I wonder if that'll be one of the charges.
Class F felony?
And wait a minute, possession of weapons of mass destruction. Holy shit. Who is this guy? Who is this
Along
guy?
with 3 other blocks of things like possession of handguns or concealed weapons and driver's license stuff. And
Mostly
that sounds like some
misdemeanors, but he
operative
does
shit
have a
to me.
felony.
But again, we don't know any of this yet. We're just digging through dirty laundry on the internet. It's hard to tell what's real. But this is a photo of the weapon he used and the setup he had. People are speculating it looks
Weapons
an
of
awful
war.
lot like, Russian-Ukrainian class of rifle. He's doing these weird
Oh, an AK
recruitment
version.
ops
It's an AK
in
setup.
Ukraine
Interesting.
for civilians. Well, he's like posting on his Facebook all the time to like no
Yes,
followers.
great question, Green Badger Outdoors. This video will be linked in the links at the end of the show. I drop all the links for everything we do, and it's a lot of stuff we don't do, in a single link called a one-tab link, and it'll list everything in order of probably the way we did it here. So this will be in the links today for sure.
About how he's recruiting hundreds of civilians to fight for Ukraine, posting for like Afghan special forces to contact him so they can come fight in Ukraine. But he's like
He's a
just
recruiter.
a random citizen from Hawaii. And one of the 60 people he follows is this
The first person
CIA
he followed,
gal
and
that
his
allegedly
first
follows him
follower.
back. That looks an awful lot like a handler or a contact. His account looks an awful lot like a bot or an MK Ultra or a Pato. Who knows what the hell this is? His criminal record looks an awful lot like what you might expect a kind of guy in this kind of line of work to leave behind. And then there's the weird video evidence getting turned up.
Officials in Kyiv simply aren't interested in recruiting them.
Ukraine is reluctant to be cooperative.
That's Ryan Ruth, a U.S. citizen who set up the International Volunteer Center in Ukraine to help connect.
I wonder if
foreigners to
Malcolm,
Ukrainian
what's his
military.
face,
Now I'm talking to
from
over
MSNBC got recruited by him.
Pretty much
Malcolm
everybody.
Vance.
All of my contacts in Ukraine, they were adamant, pretty much yelled at me every time that I suggested that we bring in Afghans.
The Ukrainian government didn't respond to our request for comment, but a source close to the officials in Kyiv told Semaphore that their top concern is the question of loyalty in the thick fog of war.
The biggest thing is spies. They're afraid that anybody and everybody is a Russian spy.
Shout out to some bitch I know on X.
Russia.
Who currently has one of the best archives of all of his socials and accounts. There's a lot of other people doing good work right now.
Okay, so this is some bitch I know. 2 eyes, not just one. Some bitch I know at some bitch I know has a major archive of this guy's social media.
And again, I just want to clarify. I'm not trying to pretend like I've solved the case or like we know what's going on.
'Cause we don't.
We just have learned by now that the FBI is going to just cover everything up. And so it's up to us to try to dig everything out.
Crowdsource it.
So
I pray for Ian
that's
here,
what we're
by the
doing.
way. Is his name
and
Ian?
yes, it's ridiculous that is even a set of sentences we have to say in America in 2024 when someone tries to kill the former and future president of the United States of America.
Oh, that's interesting.
And I mean,
he said
I can
future.
only imagine who might be backing up these operations to try to shoot him,
Black
who
Rock.
might be providing the intel and the access and the cover-ups, etc. So
Like,
last thing
okay,
I'll say,
and also
Ryan Ralph.
how does this random dude, Ryan Ralph, how does he know where and when the former president will be golfing? Because look, the event occurred as the former president is coming around to the fifth hole, and he's in that place where the fifth hole is. Like, what a quinky-dink. Some dude from Hawaii who recruits soldiers from around the world to go fight for Ukraine just happens to show up and knows where to be when Donald Trump's around in the fifth, probably coming off the fourth green, heading to the fifth tee or whatever. And then they put a map of it on New York Post. That's brilliant. But whatever. It's interesting though. This, it's very interesting. I who knows what's going on.
Ralph, he's currently in custody. He was driving away in an SUV. They caught him. He's alive for now. And I just want to remind
for now,
all, Ryan Ralph did not kill himself. If cameras malfunction outside of his cell, if he has a weird slipping accident,
so that's why
whatever happens,
Epstein is trending.
Yeah, you know the story. 50 more days. My money's on at least one more attempt before we get there. So
now the Secret Service is going to come after him just for saying that. So anyway, that is Ian Carroll. I have a separate link in the links today between the PJ Media and the Legal Insurrection articles. Any legal insurrection, we're going to get just through the headlines now because it's almost time to go. Tim Walz wants you to have hard conversations with people at the grocery store. Now, it's fascinating. Let me just to mention, as they talk about Tim Walz today, the vice presidential candidate of the Joy and Pain party. Tim Walz is not moving the needle in Minnesota much because independents in Minnesota can't stand Tim Walz. And so that's interesting. I certainly predict that Kamala will win Minnesota because the Twin Cities can put thumbs on the scales like nobody in any part of the country can, with the heavy concentration of Democrats in the Twin Cities. But Kamala's running mate, Tim Walz, was campaigning in Wisconsin this weekend when he told a crowd that the race is going to be a battle in which you speak to people in the grocery store and ask them if they've voted yet. I can't wait for someone to approach me in the grocery store to ask me if I voted yet, and I hope they're wearing a Kamala Harris pin when they do it, because I'm gonna laugh in their face and go, yeah, I voted. What the fuck? Why are you asking? What's it to you? Kiss all of my big fat black ass. Okay, so and I voted for Trump. When Walz was first introduced, he tried very hard to frame Trump and J.D. Vance as weird. I'm thinking this was a case of projection. Also, this isn't the same guy who always say people should mind their own damn business, right? That is the guy. This is the guy that says mind your own damn business, but now you want him to come up and talk to me in the grocery store. Maybe that's the line I'll use. Did you get this idea from Tim Walz? Well, I also heard that Tim Walz said, mind your own damn business. And I'll give him this look. Because I'm scary. I'm 6'4", about 200. Well, I'm down to 282 now. I was up to 315 pounds. I've lost that much weight. I'm down to 282. And at 282, I don't look super fat because I'm tall. And it's funny, by the way, this is a total aside. If you follow me on Instagram, I have 3 Instagram accounts. One is P-Dog Night, one is Marty's Big Journey, and the other is Marty's Got Jokes. Okay? I put a video on my Marty's Big Journey channel. Did I put it on Marty Got Jokes? I put it on Marty's Big Journey channel and on my Marty's Big Journey YouTube channel. Because I showed my kids pictures of when I was younger, and I was a pretty good looking guy. Not great. I always thought I looked a little goofy, but for whatever reason, girls thought I was cute. But those pictures, I look so thin. And these are like just like my college days, where I was really in super good shape, but I didn't realize because I was a fat kid and I had that little fat complex. But I look at myself at these pictures from when I was in college when I look super thin and whatever. And I realize I haven't been under 230 pounds since my freshman year in high school. So I'm looking like that, thin, fit, whatever. And I'm still at 230. I know I'm a little bit goofy. Stop it. I know that. I'm fully aware. I am so self-aware. I know that I'm a little bit goofy. But anyway, at 230 pounds, I look super thin. And I'm like, because most people you think, oh, 230 pounds, that's going to be a fat guy. But I'm looking at these pictures of myself. I'm like, wow, I guess I was kind of hot when I was young. I'm like, I'd do me. I don't know. Anyway, that wasn't the point. What was I talking about? Tim Walz. Okay, so anyway, Walz highlights the importance of Wisconsin in the November election. The November election will be a margin of error race, Walz predicted, saying Wisconsin would be one of the handful of states necessary to win. This thing's going to be a battle for the next 52 days, he said. It's going to be won in rooms just like this. It's going to be won door-to-door, call-to-call, $5 donation, trying to have that hard conversation in the produce aisle with the person you saw there at the grocery store. I can't wait! Again, till someone approaches me in the grocery store to ask me who the fuck I'm voting for. I'm like, Tim Walz told me to mind your own fucking business. I guess he didn't say fucking, but whatever. So that's funny. Don't even come near me in the grocery store to ask me about politics, especially if you got one of them little blue joy pins on. Breitbart Democratic House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries took to X on Sunday to decry what he called extreme MAGA Republicans. Adding that we must stop them. Notably, Jeffries made his declaration an hour after the former President Donald Trump survived a second assassination attempt. Again, we don't know there was an assassination attempt, but we know the guy there with the gun pointing it at Secret Service agents. Extreme MAGA Republicans are the party of a national abortion ban. Well, not Trump, because he's already said multiple times he's not going to sign one. And Trump's Project 2025, which is not Donald Trump's platform. Again, that's another lie they need to call out. Project 2025 is not Trump campaign material. It comes from the Heritage Foundation. He might agree with some things in it. It probably might disagree with a lot of things in it, or agree with a lot of things in it. Regardless, it is not Donald Trump's Project 2025. That's a lie that they keep repeating. So they're doing the Goebbels route here. Just keep repeating lies and people will believe it. It'll be a bloodbath if Donald Trump doesn't win. That was a lie. That's not what he was talking about. Very fine people on both sides. He was talking about the neo-Nazis when he specifically said he was not talking about the neo-Nazis as white supremacists. They keep telling these lies when they're complaining about the guy that they're lying about, always lying. It's kind of cognitive dissonance, and I think a lot of independents who've seen the fact checks on this probably are going, well, if they're complaining about Donald Trump lying all the time, then why are they constantly lying? It's amazing. What do you not believe? Anyone who worked with Trump, his VP, top military, his staff, family members, his attorneys, etc., all say he's unfit. All of them are lying. Look, I believe that they're saying it. I believe they're saying it. Look, here, Moneyball, maybe you haven't been here before. Let me explain something to you. I think Donald Trump is a jackass. Okay? I didn't vote for him in 2016. However, after watching what he said he would do in 2016, which I didn't believe him, and then watching what he actually did in office for the first 3 years, despite the fact that the entire media complex, Democrats, whatever, were lying about him, about the Russia thing, and every time he'd say something, they constantly twist what he says, okay? And that's me as someone who's not a fan of Trump. But they constantly would twist what he says, okay? And make it a complete lie, but to the least charitable interpretation of what it was, and usually out of context. So, for example, okay, when he was saying, like the whole Mexicans rapists thing, okay, He did not say that Mexicans were rapists. He was rattling off a list of things that were coming across the border. He said they're sending their this, they're sending their that, they're rapists. T-H-E-I-R, not T-H-E-Y''R-E. They have milked that ever since he came down the elevator. That was a lie. I listened to it and I understood what he was saying. And it was easy to interpret T-H-E-I-R. But they constantly just take the clip of what Donald Trump thinks about Mexicans. They're rapists. It's a lie. And they know it's a lie. But it's a political lie where they can get away with it because not everyone pays attention to things. Okay? The bloodbath comment. When he was talking about a financial bloodbath for the auto industry, and they said that if he's not elected, there will be a bloodbath, and pretending that he was talking about violence in the streets, when he was talking about an economic bloodbath for the auto industry. Okay, now his first 3 years in office, as far as the things he said he wanted to do, those are all the things he tried to do. And I've never seen a president try to do that in their years in office. I basically look at all the lists. He tried to do them all. Now he got thwarted on several of them. John McCain, this thing, often got thwarted on the wall, and it took him a long time to figure out how to fund it. But he essentially, as president, acted as I wanted a president to act. He did the policies, even though he was a jackass the way he speaks. And that's just his personality. I've never, since the 80s, I have not been a fan of Donald Trump's personality. I always thought he was kind of a braggadocio idiot. And yet, he actually governed within the Constitution and did what he said he was going to do. Now, COVID, that thing happened, and I have to laugh at all these people talk about, well, how Donald Trump handled COVID, how Donald Trump downplayed COVID. If you remember, in January of 2020, we started hearing rumors about the disease about November, right? December 31st, 2019, was the first report about something about this disease happening in China, and there's a bunch of people dying, blah, 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 blah. And he had his team in place within a couple weeks, okay? He had a whole team there talking about this disease before it ever hit here. Now, when they started talking about COVID, do you remember what Democrats did? Nancy Pelosi in particular, because it was just about the time of the Chinese New Year. Remember that? And they're going to have a Chinese New Year's celebration in San Francisco. And Donald Trump started mentioning this disease that's in China that we got to protect ourselves from, and we're probably going to have to, be concerned about this little disease, unknown disease coming from China. And Nancy Pelosi poo-pooed that. No, you can just come on down and you can enjoy your Chinese New Year celebration and you can get out with the people. That we're fine, we're safe, blah, blah, blah. Chuck Schumer, same thing in New York City. Democrat leaders all around the country were poo-pooing the idea that there's this disease that's killing a lot of people over there. And also in Italy, they were starting to see the carnage in Italy, which is funny because Wuhan and northern Italy, there's direct flights from Wuhan to northern Italy because the garment industries in those two cities kind of were linked, and there's a lot of people from Wuhan who worked in there and in northern Italy and went back and forth. And so then all of a sudden, all these people in northern Italy are getting it too. But every single Democrat said, no, this is Donald Trump being racist, saying it's from China, blah, 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 blah. And then when it started actually hitting here, all these motherfuckers saying, oh, no, it's his fault. Huh. One of them, and again, we got the case in Washington, we got the case in the East Coast, Chicagoland area, started spreading, right? But it wasn't until, then when it started getting bad, then they're all saying, oh, Donald Trump should have been serious about this. Well, who the fuck is Dr. Anthony Fauci? Because Dr. Anthony Fauci was on that committee, right? So I I find it hilarious. That they're always saying, "Oh, Donald Trump downplayed COVID." Oh, really? Pot kettle. I guess you don't have mirrors in your house because you didn't happen to look in the mirror first before you talked about anyone downplaying COVID. But anyway, and I don't know exactly what anyone else would have done differently. They always say, "Oh, Barack Obama had the pandemic something plan," right? Yeah. They basically scrapped it, and Donald Trump put the same plan in place. But the fact that there was the PPE stuff, that was, it wasn't like they left the cupboard full in Obama's administration either. So anyway, could not wait to ban travel. Don't you see a pattern? What he's saying now, mass deportation. Well, yeah. It's funny. I guess I'm not having a problem with the vetting of people coming into our country because there's a sudden TB crisis in a couple areas of the country, and there's AIDS spreading into parts of the country, and it's funny, it's kind of around where some of the unvetted migrants end up. But I'm not saying that you should be afraid of immigration because of that, but I think maybe the proper immigration process that we have in this country would be a way better way to do it than just processing everyone who comes across the border who knows the word asylum, because that's the only word you need to know in the English language to be processed and kept in the country. Asylum. Why are you here? Asylum. What's your name? I don't have ID. Asylum. So now we have a backlog of asylum cases. So I'm like, you know what? It's funny. The Biden administration changed policies the first day in office, and wow, boom, influx. And then 3.5 years later, go, oh shit, we had way too many people come in. Now we're going to try to do something, or we're going to pass a bill that makes it easier to process them faster. Because that's all that so-called bipartisan bill would do. It didn't hire 100,000 more Border Patrol agents to stop people from coming in the country. It was hiring them so that they could process 2,500 a day, which would be way more efficient than how they're doing it before that bill. So it wasn't a border protection bill. It was a faster processing bill, more efficient processing bill. And now my diatribe is over. No, I wasn't in radio before, but I wish I would have been. And I did a guest spot on one radio show that a friend of mine just happened to be hosting a show. And I came in as a guest, and I've been on TV before, but that's a whole nother story. Anyway, I guess the point about Hakeem Jeffries is he disparaged Trump like an hour after he got their supposed assassination attempt, and extreme MAGA Republicans are the party of national abortion ban, whatever. So that's his job, though. He's the DNC chairman. He's supposed to be a partisan, hack, whatever, because that's his job. And I expect the Republican, chairman to be the same, Lara Trump or whatever her name is. But, he's just doing his job. But the timing wasn't great. We must stop MAGA Republicans, right? Right after an assassination attempt. All right, there's a shit ton of headlines. Reckless rhetoric from Dems and media to blame for a second Trump attempt. So they're going to say that all the rhetoric, because remember, anytime something bad happens to Democrats, this is because you're Republican rhetoric. In fact, remember, just in that Dana Bash interview with J.D. Vance, she's like, well, your rhetoric caused bomb threats in Springfield, Ohio. Oh, really? His rhetoric did that. I mean, she linked it to him. Well, what's good for the goose? I didn't even mean to make that pun. What's good for the goose is good for the gander, unless you're in Springfield. So anyway, Miranda Devine is going to show you all the reckless rhetoric from Democrats, including Kamala Harris and several other people that may have caused this nutbag to try to take out a former guy who lived in the White House. Wife of Alice Vindman, too, after Trump assassination. Now, look, I have to give her credit because this is actually a little bit funny. I mean, I always, everyone says the left can't meme, but this is actually a funny line. Wife of Alexander Vindman after second Trump assassination attempt. No ears were harmed. Now, come on. as maybe not as important or not as appropriate as it is actually funny. No ears were harmed. I mean, come on. It's funny, but it's just wrong. You know, I would tell that joke. PJ Media, Internal Secret Service report on Trump attempted assassination reveals more failures. Apparently, they knew about this guy too. I don't. Classified Secret Service report on the attempted assassination of Donald Trump reveals more fundamental security failures than previously known and why the Trump campaign was correct in questioning the level of his Secret Service protection before the Butler rally and for years prior to the event. Congress received closed-door briefing on the report known as the Mission Assurance Investigation on Thursday, and at that time, several members commented on the security failures of the Secret Service that day. So it's another report on the Secret Service fucking up and why they've lightened their detail on Donald Trump, despite the fact that he has had several, not several, but at least 2 now assassination attempts. Oh, by the way, criminally liable Springfield residents know exactly who to blame for the migrant crisis hitting their town. Oh, I wonder who they're blaming. Oh, the Biden-Harris administration. Well, good, because is the reason. That's the reason. And I got multiple other headlines, but guys, unfortunately, I don't have time for it. But I do have links to everything we've done so far, plus several articles that you can read at your peruse at your leisure. I was going to say read at your perusal, but that's kind of a redundant statement. By the way, the Netherlands declared a state of emergency over the migrant crisis, too. They're having problems there, and Sweden's right-wing government offers to pay migrants to go home. Wow! Anyway, I am going to drop all these links in the chat just a second, and I hope you guys have a freaking-tastic day. But I do have to go because I have other things to do today. Did I click that yet? Oh, I didn't click that. There, let's try that. Thanks for joining me on the Morning Night Live, especially you new people. Hit the like button, hit Moneyball. I'm talking to you, brother. Subscribe to the damn channel. I'm here Monday through Friday, this same time of day, every weekday, talking about the headlines of the day and all kinds of other stuff. And I hope you join me again. I appreciate you being here. I love having new people show up. And Horatio Nelson, I gotta put hang on, I gotta put Horatio Nelson's links in here too. Almost forgot. That would be awful if I had forgotten. So let's put Horatio's links in here too. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to drop all those links in the, oh wow, I didn't mean to have 2 of these. Let's see, let's close that one. And start again. Come on, it's a nice day for a wine wedding. No, I screwed this up. We'll see what happens. Anyway, guys, I got to go. I'll drop them in the description because I don't have time to wait for this to load and refix. So I'll do that in just shortly. Give me 3 or 4 minutes and they'll be in the links in the description. I got to go. Thank you. Today, again, Monday through Friday, same time, same channel. I got to go. My name is P Dog Knight and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is P Dog Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.